Hey guys.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Meetings in the Ladies' Room. Episode, we don't know anymore. We lost track.
Real talk.
But thank you guys for joining us at our new time at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time instead of 8:30. I know some of the flyers may read 8:30, but our BA is working on that. So let's get started. How was your day?
Busy.
Busy?
But it was great.
Yeah.
Busy but great.
Mine was too. Mine was pretty busy, pretty full, very tired. But, you know, we made it.
We made it.
That's all that matters, I guess. Okay.
It was a great day.
All right. So we have a business call at 9, you guys. So we're gonna go ahead and try to get started. I am D.Renee, the transformation specialist, and I support women with overcoming obstacles to help them elevate in life and business.
And I am Stephanie Rochelle, the relationship rehab specialist, and I support women helping them overcome obstacles that have them stuck.
Okay. So, you guys, this is, if you're new to our show, this is Meeting in the Ladies' Room Conversations, and what we do is we have fishbowl conversations. So if you guys don't know what fishbowl conversations are, we have several topics in our bowl, and what we do is we just pick a topic. We don't come in here rehearse. We don't do any type of research.
Nope.
We don't know what we're gonna choose because there are several topics. There are topics that you guys have put in here for us, and there are topics that we've actually put in here ourselves. So we just go off the top with whatever it is that we choose, and we ask for you guys to, you know, just participate with us. Hi, Romeo.
Hey.
So,
Hey, cousin.
let's get this thing started with Meeting in the Ladies' Room.
All right. See what the first topic is going to be. This is the first time, you guys, I went Instagram and Facebook, so I'm doing it today.
I know we have like four different situations going on right here, right? We're both on Instagram and Facebook.
Lord. Let's see what we're going to talk about today.
Before she says the topic, you guys, so these are some just simple housekeeping. If you would, please, if we're providing you with value tonight, just share, like, sharing is caring. And if we're providing you guys with valuable information, it may not be for you, but it may be for somebody you know, or maybe somebody you don't know. So you never know who this information can help. So it's free to share. It doesn't cost you a thing. And that's the utmost compliment that you guys can pay us. Absolutely. Is by sharing this information and giving us hearts to like. Okay?
Appreciate it.
Let's go.
All right. So tonight, the first topic. Stuck on an old relationship. Can't let go. I know we got some of them in the house. Stuck on an old relationship. Can't let go.
We have been there at a couple, some people have been there a time or two.
Right.
I'm just saying, some people did. I mean, some people might still be there.
To me, though, I mean, when you stuck, okay, say it doesn't even really have to be a long-term relationship. It could just be a relationship that you were just really, really into it. You thought it was going somewhere. You don't understand why it went wrong, why it ended, and you just keep trying to get them to give you closure or get them to tell you why. Let it go. They don't want you no more.
But dang.
But if you don't want me, I don't want you, right?
But let it go. They don't want you no more, huh?
If you don't want me, I don't want you.
Hi, Marsha.
Hey, Marsha. If you don't want me, I don't want you. But what I'm saying to you is you gotta know your worth.
Yeah.
And I know my worth. I've never ever had a problem with knowing my worth. I know my worth. And that's why I can truly say, when I'm in it with you, I'm gonna give you all I got. I'm gonna give you the best I got. If you get to a point that you don't want it no more, then I have to accept that and do me. Get myself together, go through whatever I need to go through to build myself back up before I get into the next relationship. But if you don't want me, I don't want you. So it's the next.
Let me see that topic again.
You need to read it again.
I need to read it again. One more time.
Stuck
on an old
On an
relationship.
old
That's
relationship.
our topic, you guys. Stuck on an old relationship. So let's see.
Can't let go.
So, sometimes it's difficult letting go. It's not always easy to just be able to just move on from a certain situation.
Right.
Especially when, you have built and developed and gathered so much stuff with this person.
Right.
So it's kind of hard to let go. And then when it's over, sometimes you have guilt. Sometimes some people go through depression.
But here's the thing. You can't do it by yourself. So again, if they don't want you, you got to get yourself together and let it go. Because you can't, there's no reason for you. Now, I'm not saying you're not going to be sad for a moment. That's not what I'm saying. The question is stuck.
Right. It is.
On an old relationship. So that means you can't let it go. You still crying. You still wondering why. After you go through your hurt and disappointment, which is long for some people and short for others, it's not really long for me. Well, I can honestly say.
When you stuck, people just have like different variations of stuck. You know what I'm saying?
All right, let's see some variations.
Some people might have like an angry stuck, so I'm about to be vindictive and be the you know what. So they're still angry and stuck on the relationship, like you hurt me, I'm gonna pay you back type of stuff. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So they're not ready to move on because they're still trying to make this person's life a living hell. Why did that?
And I'm gonna keep it classy. I'm not gonna stoop low. I'm gonna go high. Even when you go low, I'm going high. That's just how I play the game because you're just not going to take me out of my character.
Right.
Not like that. You're not going to have me scratching, keying cars and flattening tires. I'm not going to do anything like that. I'm going to be like, okay, boo.
But then you have the person who's stuck in the depression mode. They're grieving the loss of the relationship. Because that's like I tell people all the time. Like, especially when you've been in a long-term relationship, you have to grieve the loss. Like, some people grieve and go through the process because you're losing that person out of your life. They're not physically dying.
Is a loss.
Right.
Even divorce
They're not physically dying, but there's a loss process.
Yeah.
And people have to go through the process and get through, what it is that they have going on and be able to move on. Absolutely. But some people, they stay too long and their mentality and their, in their mind and their thoughts around that situation is what keep them stuck because they keep on replaying all the good stuff, and they keep on replaying.
They keep
all
on
the bad
still
stuff.
Wanting something that's not there.
That is true.
That's
the
problem.
And it's the thoughts that they tell themselves about that situation that kind of keeps them going and going and going and going.
Right.
And
we
keep
used
them
to be
ruminating.
good.
Right.
We used to be good.
When you keep staying stuck in the past, one thing about life, if you cannot go through life thinking about the past, right? Because you can't drive a car looking in the rearview mirror because you're gonna crash eventually. Because eventually, if you don't pay attention to where you're going, and if you keep looking backwards, you'll never get to where you want to go forward. So if you are stuck, or if you find yourself at being one of those people who's having a hard time being able to move on, you have to check your thoughts about the situation. Absolutely. Because a lot of times when you're going through all those hurt feelings and depression and things like that, it's mainly because you are still thinking about that situation. Like, you always have to check your thoughts around whatever situation that's in that has you stuck on there. Stop thinking about the past. Right. The past is the past. You have to be able, like I always say, I know y'all say, I say this all the time, but I firmly believe you have to, these are the three main things that you have to do in order to be able to move forward in any situation. You have to, acknowledge that this is the situation. Yeah. Number 2, you have to accept the situation. This is what it is. Yep. And that's where most people have their difficulty. And that's where most people get stuck. stuck because they have a difficult time accepting that it is what it is.
I agree.
And then after you finish with
especially
the acceptance
long
phase,
relationships that end,
and then because it's like, man, we were doing so good. We've been together all this time. We've been doing this, and
or
then people
I wasted
go through.
all these years.
I wasted all these years. Who, now I got to start.
I gave you
over.
my good years. Yeah,
right.
That's what they
so
do.
you go through that tug of war with yourself, but then you have to step into a role where you got to take responsibility. Right. So those are the three things that I always teach on, and that's what I firmly believe because that's how I went through my transformation process.
Absolutely.
And that's what I teach women in my program, how to go through that process.
How to get
and that's
through.
What's in my book to teach them how to go through that process.
How to get through.
So when you're doing that and when you're going and you're going and going, you have to be able to, you guys, when we take accept responsibility, it may not be your responsibility for the demise of the relationship.
Absolutely.
That's not what we're saying.
You probably had nothing to do with it.
Right. So, but if you are going to accept responsibility, one, for the things that you may have overlooked.
Yes.
Right?
Right.
You accept
The red flags.
The red flags. You accept responsibility for the things you may have overlooked that could have helped you out a little sooner.
Yeah.
You accept responsibility for, being so understanding, because I'm sure we've all, as women, have been there and done that and been just so understanding about the situation and so forgiving, to where we just ignored ourselves. And then you have to accept responsibility for, you know what? I did not. I knew something was going on. That intuition, you guys, we ignored it.
Exactly.
We ignored it. So you have to be able to accept responsibility for all of those aspects of it.
Absolutely.
Because guess what? Even though you didn't cause it, you ignored the red flag. You didn't pay attention. You were too understanding.
And you know why? Because they didn't want to move on.
They didn't want to accept what it was.
They didn't want to say next.
And they didn't want to
A
accept
lot
what
of
it
women
was.
don't want to start over. And really and truly, I can't even say women because I know some guys now that I've been talking to that they're stuck as well. They don't want to start over. I mean, but she was my wife. Okay, but she doesn't want you anymore. So you got to push through this thing. I'm serious. No, I'm very, very serious. Because... And I think for me, it's not like I said, it's not like I don't get sad, but I think for me, because my faith level is so high, and I believe that if I have gone through all of this, that God truly has something wonderful for me on the other side. I truly believe it. I mean, and that's how I get through a lot of things, because I've been through a lot. I lost a son. I went through a long, lengthy divorce, and that's how I got through it. I believed after all of this, something good was about to happen. And when you think like that, it'll help you push through that horrible time, that sad time, and eventually, you're coming out on top. That's just what I believe through my whole process.
Well, when I was going through my transformation, I don't remember being stuck on a relationship. I think I remember just mainly beating myself up, because I ignored red flags. I ignored this, that, and the other, because I've always been one of those people who take responsibility.
So you didn't even talk about what you were seeing?
No,
because I think that's what we do.
I was in a
we
vulnerable situation. I can't say I was in a vulnerable situation. I was in a vulnerable state of being as a person.
I got you.
Only because of my self-esteem issues at the time. Only because of the things that I was feeling about myself, the insecurities, the self-esteem issue that allowed me to be in that situation.
That's why we're doing these lives on Facebook, on Instagram. We are here to help. We're here to make everybody grow. This is the place. This is the place that we're going to have these conversations to help each other through whatever we're going through. This is what we're doing. Now, both of us have coaching businesses. You can reach me. You can reach Rene. I'm the relationship rehab specialist.
And I'm the transformation specialist.
And, we can help you. But here, it's free. We're going to talk about it right here.
That's right.
Things that happen. Things that everybody goes through.
That's right.
Right here. Every Wednesday. Every Wednesday at 8 o'clock.
This is what we do. So there might be some people, there might be some women and some men that's out there that may be like her, and then some that's like me. Because, because I've always been that person that accepts, hi Deborah, that accepts responsibility.
Yep.
I wasn't the one that was gonna sit around and be a victim. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, woe is me. Oh, this person did this to me. Oh, this person did that to me. I had to figure out what was it about me that allowed this situation to happen.
Or to continue.
You know what I'm saying? Or continue to happen.
Absolutely.
I had to check myself, because at the end of the day, you can't control anybody else.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And people are only gonna do what you allow them to do. And I had to check me to figure out what was it going on with me that allowed me to let this person do these things to me.
Absolutely.
Because you always have to check yourself, because you can't control nobody else.
That's right. Absolutely. And even with checking yourself, I mean, again, you guys, you got to be willing to make a move. You got to be willing. I mean, okay, so you knew that you saw the red flags, you ignored them or whatever, but you still had love for that person. You still were kind of...
I was trying to stay because we had a son.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And in my mind, let me tell you my mental process, right? So in my mind, I had to deal with me, and I had to accept. I could not accept, number one, I had just graduated with my master's degree. I could not accept that I was going to be I was going to be a single parent raising another black boy on my own. That was difficult for me to accept. So I tried to stick it out. I tried to stay in there. I was going through a bottle of Excedrin every week. I had that many migraines because I was trying to stick in there to try to make it work, to try to do this, to try to do that, because I was battling myself.
You couldn't do it by yourself. Because you can't stay by yourself. You can want to work it out and want to work it out.
I was in it.
But it takes two people to work it out.
I was in it for 2.5 years. The disconnect with him was already gone. You know what I'm saying? But it was my internal battle with myself. What was people going to think? She just graduated. She's stupid. You know what I'm saying? She just graduated with her master's degree. She got this house. She did this. She did that. And she just, and then she out here, you got 2 different babies. I had to go through all of those feelings and thoughts and emotions about what other people were going to say, and in the inside I was killing me because I was unhappy,
because you cared about what they said and what they thought,
and I was trying to do it for my kids.
And I got another one for you. Sometimes they use that to play against you, and they'll say, that's why they think that you'll stay, because you're gonna worry about that stuff. I'm like, I ain't the first person that got divorced. I'm serious. I mean, you have to know, guys. You have to know that you are a good person and you bring good stuff to the table. So I promise you, I held on to the fact that I knew after all this, and as long as we've been together, I knew something good was coming. And I just held on to it. Every time it was horrible. Every time it got really, really bad, they were treating me bad or something like that, I'm just like, yep. I will be careful. That's what I kept saying. I will be careful.
So you guys, if you're just joining us, our fishbowl topic right now is stuck on an old relationship. So we're just sharing our experiences and giving you guys some tips on how to be able to move forward and how to be able to move past some of these things. And we're just giving you real life experiences.
So that you're what? Not stuck.
Get unstuck. Okay, we're getting unstuck in 2019. That is our goal, is to get unstuck so that we can have healthier and happier relationships with, whether it's with an intimate relationship, family, friends, or whatever, because it all starts with you dealing with your stuff. So so I was saying about the mental component to beat myself up about it, and then worrying about what everybody else say. And I know that I'm not the only one who possibly have gone through that. So,
I mean, now don't get me wrong. Now, when I say this stuff, it's hard to walk with your head high when you're going through this stuff. It's very hard, and not that the thoughts do not come. Like what you were saying, you have those thoughts. You got to push through them, and you push through them by resetting your thoughts. Every time a negative thought popped in about what somebody was going to think, you out here by yourself, you got to take care of your daughter by yourself, you're going to lose your house. That's a negative. That's a negative. God got me. He got me.
I think for me, I had to go through, I had to get to the point where I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. Like, because I'm the like,
you had to get
because I'm the
mentally
I'm the stick and stay person.
I am
and
too.
after battling with myself, and I think that's what most people do. I don't really feel like the battle is with you leaving that person.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
I honestly believe that the battle is always within yourself and what other people or what this might look like to other people if you made this decision, right?
See, and I'm very quiet. Like a lot of my friends, they be like, man, we knew you were going through a lot. But we couldn't tell. Like I didn't share because the whole time I'm having talks though with myself. Oh yeah, I mean that's just my personality. I'm having talks with myself because I didn't want to come out of character. And the way for me to not come out of character was to continue to have talks with myself. We're gonna keep it classy. I mean, because I got in some situations that I could have snapped, but that wouldn't be like me. And that's really what people want to see and what they want to talk about. And I just refuse to be their conversation. I'm telling you, so I went high.
So in order, you guys, to be able to get unstuck, right?
Right.
What advice would you give to people to be able to get unstuck? And then I can,
continue to move forward no matter what. Like she said before, don't look in the rearview mirror. Continue to move forward. And the negative thoughts are going to come. And it seems like the more you're going through the separation, the divorce, the breakup or whatever, they treat you a certain kind of way. Like, I'm like, are you not remembering that, like, okay, I'm your child's mother. It's like, they forget that, it's like at one point we were friends, we had a relationship, we were married, all that goes out the window. So I'm telling you, do whatever you can. And for everybody it's different, but to stay in your character. Do not stoop low.
When they go low, you go high.
You go high.
Our famous floaters.
Replace your negative thoughts with positive thoughts. And I'm telling you, I had constant talks with myself all the time. Sometimes all day long. I kept gospel music in my ears. I danced all the time. Whatever I could do to make me happy, to put a smile on my face, to remember who I was, that's what I did.
Awesome.
But I went high.
Okay. All right. So if I was to, giving you guys some advice on how to get unstuck, I definitely agree with everything that Stephanie has said. In addition to the things that Stephanie has said, you have to get somewhere to where you can have support.
Yeah.
You get somewhere where you have support. I mean, everybody's not your friend, number one. There are some people that's waiting and looking and lurking and waiting for the demise of whatever it is that you got going on.
Absolutely.
So you have to find some girlfriends, some great support that's gonna be there and support you and not judge you, because that's very, very important.
That you can fall apart with them,
absolutely,
but not in front of anybody else. You got to have those friends. I had some very good friends.
Yes, you got to be.
They didn't allow me to sit on the couch.
Yes, you got to have that. And in addition to having that, you have to be able to know that you are worthy and you deserve more than what it was that you had. I don't know, it could be for a man or woman, because women cheat too, and women do trifling things in relationships and marriages and stuff like that, just like men do. You know what I'm saying? But you still have to know that your worth and your value,
you got to know what you bring to the table.
You got to know what you bring to the table, physically and emotionally and mentally. You have to know that you deserve and you can get somebody else. It may not look like it. You have to know that there is light on the other side of the road. It might take you to go through the valleys and the ups and downs of life, or the frogs. It might take you to have to do that, but you can get through it, because what you have to remember in all of this is, one, these are things that I teach people, is you have to be able to pull on your strengths.
Absolutely.
You pull on your strengths, because guess what? There was times in that particular situation. It doesn't always have to be a relationship. There was times in that particular situation where you were able to pull through, and you have to pull on those strengths, because that's just saying that, yes, I can do this.
Absolutely.
I did this before. I can do it again.
Yep.
You know, you have to be able to pull on those strengths, because sometimes in the midst of all the negativity, you don't even think about you having a strength. You just think about the woe is me and it's over.
Exactly.
That's
Absolutely.
it. You can't see that now. Woe is me.
And you know, I tell people all the time, and they it takes them a minute when I say it, but I'm like, what do you believe about you? Who are you? It'll tell you, if you can answer that question, it'll tell you a lot about you off the rip. You got to know that I am wonderful. I am strong. I am beautiful. I mean, I can just...
I am enough. How about that?
Okay.
I am enough for whatever.
Absolutely.
I am enough.
I am enough.
I am enough.
Every day.
And then if you
It
don't
works,
know,
y'all. It works.
and if you don't know that you are enough, they have coaches.
Yeah.
Hey.
Hey.
They have coaches. They have counselors. If your stuff is that deep, and it runs real deep, and you just have never dealt with your stuff, then go get you some counseling. I refer friends to counseling all the time. Like, girl, I think you need to go get some counseling. You know, well, I got you. I'm not your counselor. I'm your friend. I can't be objective.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I cannot
you
be
feeling
objective.
it like they feeling it. Right.
Like, I'm like ready to, girl, what we need to go do?
Yeah.
Shoot, me and my friends that did stakeouts and all kinds of stuff. I'm
Yes.
just saying that's what we done. But I mean, you have to be able to get with people who support you in that way.
Absolutely.
And you have to be able to know and get you some support around. You have to invest in yourself.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? In this time, or if you're finding yourself in these situations, invest in yourself. Whatever that investment might look like.
Especially if you're stuck, guys.
Yes.
You know, if you got the good group of girlfriends and they pushing you through, and you know you're gonna get there. But if you're stuck, don't miss out on life. Because really and truly, I mean, the sooner we can get you healed and back together and get you back moving forward, then you can get off onto that next life. He could just be sitting right there waiting on you. But as long as you stay stuck, even the guys. As long as you stay stuck. This is no men next. And women.
There is no next as long as you stay
because
stuck in
nobody wants the bitter person.
No.
Nobody wants the person that's still talking about their ex.
Nope.
Nobody wants to deal with that.
Please don't do that. Don't go on your dates talking
Nobody
about
wants to
that.
deal with that.
Please don't. Please
Nobody
don't
wants
do
to
that.
deal with that. So the sooner that you can realize, or maybe your girlfriend's probably got to tell you, listen, you've been stuck too long. It's time to talk to somebody.
Look,
invest in yourself.
I have gone on a date with someone, and that's what they would they talked about that. And in my mind, because you know my clinical training, I'm like analyzing, like you still stuck, and you still want her. So this will be the last time I see you.
Yeah. And when I was dating, I have told one, I said, you know what, you probably need to go on back to your wife.
And that's what I told this guy that too. I was like, look, you
go back, make up, because you're not done.
I might have talked to him maybe 2 times after that, and he was gone. I'm like, you wasn't ready. You wasn't ready. You were still dealing with
because you got to take the time. Stuff. You got to take the time.
Yes.
For everybody it's different, but they say really and true that they say you at least should take 8-9 months.
Oh, girl, I took 2.5 years to get through my transformation. My transformation after all that stuff.
Well, not that the transformation is going to talk to that. I mean, it took me 8-9 months to file. Like I took time.
You got myself to file a divorce. Okay. I'm just talking about in general to be able to get yourself to a place where you can move on.
Right. I would say it took me about 1.5 years.
Okay. Yeah. And during that time, what was you doing?
Well, in that 9 months, I wasn't doing anything. I was praying a lot, getting myself together, boosting me up, having daily talks with myself.
Right.
It's a lot of self-care.
Right.
A lot of self-care.
Right.
Like I said, I was treating me.
Right.
I was doing me.
Right.
I was working out a lot, staying active, playing tennis, going to the gym. Really just getting back to me. That's what I was doing.
Exactly. And that's what I was trying to get to.
Getting back to me.
That's exactly what I did in my transformation. Number one, you have to connect to those things that's most important to you.
Yep.
As you can see, I know I did.
Yes.
That was my first step. I had to reconnect with God. I had to reconnect with my relationship with Him.
Yeah.
And it sounds like you did the same thing too. You know, you kind of you got to go back to those things that kind of keep you anchored.
Absolutely.
Those things that you know that you can find that sacred place in your place of peace to kind of help clear your mind so that you can focus in on what it is that you need to do for yourself.
You know, God was with me the entire time, because I took this course at my church called Master Life.
Okay.
Ooh. Anybody, if you have not taken that or if you've never heard of that, talk to me about that. That course is fantastic, but it teaches you to put Christ at the center of your life. Man, it got me back together. It shows you yourself, and it helps you move forward. Yeah, I'm truly a better person from going through that course. Yes.
Yeah, I just reconnected with getting back to praying, getting
But
back
that's
to
what the course was talking about.
to being
Spending
able
that
to
time.
commune
Absolutely.
with God. It
Spending
wasn't
that time.
necessarily about going to church. I mean, although I did
Absolutely.
that, it was about my fellowship with Him and my relationship with Him,
Yep.
and talking to Him and asking Him for the guidance and the help and everything that I needed in order to be able to get me through in that moment.
And you just don't understand when you do that every morning, like before my feet hit the floor. Like some people go to the closet. I mean, it doesn't matter how you do it. However it works for you is fine. But just doing that on a daily basis, you guys, it keeps you ready for the negativity. It's the best thing. I mean, just incorporating that one thing right there is priceless.
And that's what I put in. I mean, you have to reconnect. Now, our thing is spiritual and God. That's what we believe in.
Right.
That is what it is. If that's not your thing, that's cool. You, whatever it is that you find that's important to you, that helps keep you anchored.
Right.
No matter how far you go, there's a rope that go as far as you go. But that one thing that always pull you back in.
Absolutely.
That's what you need to reconnect with in order to be able to help you get started in your process to getting unstuck.
That's right. Because that's the goal. We got to get unstuck. We got to get unstuck. Men and women. We can't stay stuck.
That's it. Because
It's too much. It's too much life out there.
You stay stuck, you stay there.
Yep.
If you don't want to be there, then you have to go
And
somewhere
you know
else.
what? It takes a lot of energy to be bitter. It takes a lot of energy every day. That takes a lot of energy to be mad all the time and angry and not smiling and not happy.
And it kills you. It kills you.
Stress.
Like, it literally
Stress.
eats you up on the inside.
Absolutely.
It causes stress. It causes all these different physiological symptoms to have. Some people break out.
Yep.
Some people hair fall out.
Yep.
Some people can't sleep. Like, it's just too much.
Yep.
And it's like, you
You
know,
gotta
Lord,
have
I
talks
don't
with
want to.
yourself. You can't do this, guys.
And it's like, Lord, I'm tired of not sleeping.
Yep.
You gonna have to fix this. Give me strength. Just help me get over this. Like, eventually, you're gonna get sick and tired of
Help
being
me
sick and
move
tired.
forward. Absolutely.
Sick and tired of being sick and tired of not necessarily being able to move forward. And at some point in time, you're
Yep.
gonna have to do it. Hi, Lawanda. How are you?
Hey.
You're gonna have to be able to move. So Lawanda, we were talking about, that's my therapist. My therapist friend. She used to be my supervisor, right? But she Lawanda, we were talking about how to get unstuck on old relationships. You know, when people get stuck in those particular situations. So thank you for joining us tonight. But so we gave you guys some great information, right? So if you feel like we provided you with value, we want you to share, okay? Because sharing is caring, and there is somebody that you don't know, I bet, that probably need this information, and it's free. You don't have, we're not charging you guys.
And I
you
know
don't,
they got somebody that's stuck. I know they know
right,
somebody.
that's
We all
stuck
got those
somewhere.
friends.
So if you feel like we're providing you with value, we need you guys to heart it up. We need you guys to share this information, because this might help and save somebody that's out there that you don't know, or maybe you do know,
them that little
but they
extra
never
push.
told you.
That little
That's
extra
right.
push.
Give them that extra
We're
push.
here every Wednesday night, 8 p.m.
Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. doing our meeting in the ladies' room, having these tough conversations that we need to have as women about different things. And we, you know, if men pop in every now and then,
We'd love to hear from you. We like the
you.
conversation to go back and forth.
It's called Meeting in the Ladies' Room Conversations for a reason, because we want your input. We like your interaction, right?
Yes.
Okay. So we got time for another.
I think so.
We got a little time for another one.
Let's see what we can.
Look, I'm looking at my arm like I got on the watch. I don't have nothing now.
Let's see what we got. This is what it's saying.
Ooh, that look like big, girl. What you got on there?
Oh. Speaking of this, I posted this on my Facebook today. How to handle a spouse that's suffering from an illness, like the B. Smith situation. How would you guys handle that?
Yes.
See, these are things when we get married, even though it says in sickness and in health,
and better or for worse,
that nobody really thinks about, because everybody's healthy and happy at the time. But
you never know
things can happen.
That sickness come in and that worstness show that worst show up. You never know which form it come in. And so, like she said, with the B. Smith situation,
yes,
I have a whole lot of opinions, guys, about that situation.
Well, me and my husband briefly talked about that today. I was telling him about they're going to do a reality show about it. And I told him, I said, you got to wait till I'm gone. I don't care if I'm loony. I don't know what's going on. Don't you bring nobody else up in here. No. It's a negative.
Right.
I'm going to put my daughter on alert. Don't let it happen.
Don't cause all kind of havoc up in that house.
Don't let it happen. You gotta wait.
I don't agree with it. I totally don't agree with it. And I hate the fact that they are trying to capitalize on this situation
by
that's
actually
putting it, but by putting this on TV. I will not support it. I will not watch it. I don't even want to see I don't want to hear about it, because number one, now, even though we don't know, number one, what phase of Alzheimer's she's in.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And I think
she could be
dementia. There is a difference.
Okay.
Dementia versus Alzheimer's. That's what I believe it is. But there is a difference.
But either way, people go in and out of reality.
They do.
They go in and out of reality.
They do.
What happens when she's in that when she's really in her reality and she's like this other woman, her husband and this other woman are together? Like, no, I don't agree with it. Like, why bring that lady in the house with her in her house? You know what I'm saying? And I know that they're together in the home. Right. You know what I'm saying? So where does that leave her? I just think it's really selfish.
Yeah, I do too.
I think it's very selfish. Selfish. I said it. Yes, I did. It's very selfish.
It is.
For you to feel like, oh, well, why should my life? Because when you took those vows, that was part of your life.
Now, from what I understand, they say that they had an agreement, but it's not written anywhere. They say that they had an agreement, I guess maybe when she was early diagnosed, that if she, got to a point where I guess, she could no longer function or no longer please him or whatever, then maybe she gave him the okay.
But why bring it in the house?
That's what I was about to say.
Why bring it in the house? Keep your mess over there.
You don't have to do it that way.
Keep your mess over there. Even if they did have that, like, have enough respect, because she had enough respect for you to give you that leeway to say, okay, if this gets really bad, I give you permission. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Even give her enough respect to not bring that in her home.
Yeah. That's what makes it really just, in the home, again, like I said, nah, you got to wait till I'm gone. But it's so many. It's nurses that you can bring in the home in this situation,
right?
You can have, and understand. Yeah, these things cost, but.
Jacoy, we're talking about tonight. We're talking about the first topic was getting unstuck from relationships, and now we're talking about what was the official title? Why
your spouse having an illness?
How do you handle if your spouse is dealing with suffering from an illness? And we were just talking about the B. Smith situation. I'm sure everybody is kind of familiar with it. If you're not, the situation is B. Smith. She was this influential celebrity.
I think she was a model.
She was a model.
I think so.
And she had built this empire, right? And so her husband now is dating some woman that he's also moved into their home together. And they're getting ready to start this show about their life
on Bravo.
On Bravo. It's on Bravo. Okay, on Bravo, and I'm just not going to support that. I'm just not going to support it. That's just.
It's a lot of people saying what you're saying, that they're not going to support the show.
That's not. It's selfish, and he's very selfish for doing the things that he did.
It kind of shows the kind of world we're living in, though, that they would even want to do a whole reality show.
Anything to make some money. Anything. People will do anything to make some money, but you know just what? Because she was that.
To Bravo's defense, they didn't start it.
No,
the husband,
I'm sure,
brought this lady in their home, so he put it out there for the world to know, and you know.
But I'm sure he probably pitched them for a show or somebody.
I don't even think he had to. I think the fact of how he came out with it and the reasons why he was doing it. I think they, grabbed hold of that. I think they approached him, but we don't know. But
either way, the details are not important. The fact is, I just think it's wrong. Yeah. Like, I mean, maybe I'm wrong for feeling that way. Maybe
like I said, I understand. If God forbid, if I was suffering with an illness and I have a spouse, I would want him to take care of me. And if I was, if I didn't know what was going on, then go do your thing outside of the house, but not in our home. Right. That's all I'm saying.
Because my thing is, what happened if she have a moment of reality and she go snapping on folks because she see you, you know what I'm saying? And because she don't remember that she told you, and then it's the problem. Like, no, dude, this is not.
And
cool.
they do go in and out. They do go in and out.
And I'm like, dude, I don't know your name. I don't know your name, dude. But Mr. Smith, this ain't cool at all.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
But I mean, that's just one thing. So what about mental illness? What about when somebody just have a breakdown?
No, the Chad and the singer, the Destiny Child singer.
Who?
Oh, girl, you're not up on the TV.
I
forgot. Yeah, they had a whole reality show. And she was suffering. Michelle. Yeah.
Okay,
and she was suffering with mental illness.
Tell the people.
And they were trying to, they were going through this engagement, so they were going through the premarital counseling and everything. And at the end of the day, he was concerned about the mental illness, and they didn't make it.
Oh, for real?
They decided to call it off.
Oh wow! So she was suffering from what kind of?
They didn't say. They just said mental illness. So they didn't say.
I mean,
it seemed like possibly they didn't show a lot of that on the show. Like maybe she got depressed a lot, but I'm not really sure. Okay. They just showed bits and pieces of, they just talked about it on the show.
So having that conversation then about it, but some people,
like he knew this in the beginning though, in their thing. I'm just like,
he did,
but I guess it got, it wasn't like he.
Well, sometimes,
I guess it got too much for him.
But sometimes people go undiagnosed throughout their life.
Yeah.
And then they get, as adults, they get in these situations and they get in relationships and they get in marriages and stuff like that. And then the stress from it takes them into those type of situations and moods. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah.
So it triggers it. Too much stress, feeling overwhelmed and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like it triggers it. They probably already had signs and symptoms of stuff throughout life, but it went undiagnosed and they didn't want to get no treatment. You kind of be in denial about stuff and like, no, this is just a phase. This is just a moment, all of that, and then we don't really know.
Hey, Diva.
And then a lot of people don't really know how to identify signs and symptoms of depression because we, especially in the African American community, we see it as, oh, I'm just stressed out. I'm just overwhelmed. We have all these other names for it, so we don't really recognize it. So because we don't recognize that that's what it is, then it's easy for it to be undiagnosed.
I'm glad.
It's easy for it to be undiagnosed throughout your life. But when you get in this marriage, now that I'm married to you, we done walk down the aisle.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
For better or for worse.
For better or for worse. So then you have to deal with, Now you're stuck. You are stuck. I mean, you're married.
You should be
You
stuck.
should be stuck anyway, and that should not be a reason to just let go. And I think we talked before,
because you can't only love me on my good days.
That's it.
You can't only love me on my good days. And you got to always flip it, guys. What if it was you? Wouldn't you want me to be there? You got to flip it.
And then you have to be able to, then you have to be able to, be willing to work with that person, right? Help them to get the treatment, or help them to want to do something. Sometimes they might not have the motivation to want to do it. Right. Sometimes they might not feel.
And it's all over the TV shows now. What's my other TV show? I can't think of the name of it. A Million Little Things. Mental illness on there.
Really?
Yeah. One person killed itself, and one person was taking the pills, and they didn't want to take the pills. So it's
we got all this mental illness
really coming out
big.
now. It's being prevalent now,
and because it's more accepted. You know what I'm saying?
And it's more in the forefront.
It's
now.
more in the forefront.
All over the TV.
And so now it's important to have those conversations with people, because sometimes, unless you're in the field, and you don't even know how to recognize
even in
it.
dating, right? It's a question now that we got to ask.
Yeah. But that don't mean they're going to be truthful, but you got to observe.
That's true. You got to observe. You got to ask that question, because this is somebody, if you're dating, you're still able to have children, that you need to know these things before you have children. And, you got to be able to make good decisions that if you want to, because, once you get in it, it's just not fair. You should be in it for the good and the bad.
Yeah. So when you're talking about a spouse that's dealing with an illness, that could be anything, right?
It could be cancer. It could be...
And it
could be diabetes, because if you don't take care of yourself, that could be horrible.
Then they could lose limbs, and things like that as a result of that. But it's just, you have to be willing to really truly understand what the for better or for worse in the sickness and in health means when you're entering into that marriage.
Absolutely.
And that covenant with your mate and your partner.
Because like I said at the beginning, it's all good. Everybody all happy, smiles, and you never know what life will bring.
And it can be very stressful, What if you marry the wrong person?
What do you mean? If you marry the wrong person and they're sick? Like, then you find out they're sick? Or
Alicia said, what if you marry the wrong person, you guys?
Because if you marry the wrong person, again, you got to be grown enough to have that conversation, because life is short. Life is short. Sometimes everything can't be worked out.
No.
Nor should it be. Because I'm telling you guys, life is short. And if you can't figure out how to work it out so that you guys can be happy and on the same playing field, and you can't do it by yourself.
No, you can't.
So if you're willing to work on it, but they don't want to be there, again, I say go get you a life. Let them go. Because I'm serious. Because life is short, and
well, you have to know your limits. You know what I'm saying? You have to know your limits and what it is that you can and cannot deal with. Those boundaries, those limitations, and all of those things.
Because you're going to have good and bad in every even the good marriages has good and bad.
Absolutely.
But because you still love that person, you're going to work it out. Now, if you married the wrong person, that's what I'm talking about. You shouldn't have married that person and you married them, then
But you still have to know your boundaries in that marriage. You still have to. I call them negotiables and your non-negotiables.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because agree. you have to know that, even if you married the wrong person. So if the wrong person is doing things that's a part of your non-negotiables, like we always say, that's something that should have been communicated. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's something that's a conversation that should have already been had.
You cannot keep putting a square into a circle. You say people jump in too fast and then they don't want to deal with the worst. Some people jump too fast. Let's see what else she say. Then they get stuck.
That's right.
True. They do. Because they get so excited. It's like, oh, he wants to marry me. Oh, she wants to marry me. And they know they hiding this secret, or they know they got this other issue going on, and they've been able to, keep it down. And then you do get married too quick, and then everything comes out. That's right. Everything is on the table, and it's like, oh boy. But again, you got to be able to have that conversation. I talk about it all the time, guys, up front. And you know, it's hard to have those conversations up front sometimes because it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable. But it makes a world of it. It's very hard to have those finance conversations up front. You know, especially when you've been single for a while or you get married later in life. I mean, you've been doing it your way. You know, it's but you got to have the conversations.
Absolutely. You
got to know what you're dealing with.
So if you, and Alicia, it's funny that you say you get stuck because we were just talking about getting unstuck from relationships that
you
we
got to go
can't
back and
move
listen to
past.
that.
Yeah, you got to listen to it.
You got to go back and listen to that.
We had some good stuff for y'all on that one. But, you know, if you are jumping in too fast, you don't have the opportunity to really get to know if this person, you know,
if
people
you
can
really,
now have
really
these,
got something.
you can have conversations like, okay, when you get ready to, you feeling this person, okay, well, what kind of, you can ask stuff, you know, does cancer run in your family? Does this run in your family? Does that run in your family?
Marriage is a job. It is. And a commitment. Said,
some get married for the wrong reasons. Marriage is a job, and the commitment, and most don't understand. What does
You're probably going to say understand that.
Understand that. Understand that. And that is absolutely true.
It's serious. And that's why I tell people the conversations up front are key. I mean, and you know, sometimes you still miss some things, but I mean, you should be able to have talked about the majority of everything. And the guys, when you're dating them, they should be courting you. If they don't want to have these conversations, it's a next. Yeah. Because they're really not trying to get to know you.
And you always want to ask, not all about the good stuff. Oh, what you want to be in 5 years? You know, what kind of house you want? What kind of kids you want? All that sound good. But what about saying, so what happened when the worst comes? Yeah. How do you typically handle situations when it gets tough? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? What did you do in your past relationship when y'all had conflict and difficulty? You know what I'm saying? You need to know those tough questions, because guess what? A person's predictor, unless they've already been through transformation, right? They're going to keep doing the same thing from each relationship to relationship, and you can be able to see that pattern in that particular relationship.
Into the next relationship.
Take it right on in there, and they don't even know. They function in it. That's just a creature.
And they have the nerve to say, "Well, this how I always been."
Exactly. That's the problem.
That don't make it right.
Who
has been telling you that that's okay? That's not okay. That's not cool.
Right. That's the problem. So these are conversations. Don't start your conversations with the good stuff. I'm coming in hard because, see, look, I don't have time to waste because I'm the single. Yeah. She married. I'm single. So I don't have a whole bunch of time to waste, because I'm hitting you with all the wrong stuff, all the bad, not the bad stuff, but the tough stuff that need to be discussed, because I need to know how you gonna deal with conflict. I need to know that you gonna communicate. I like to communicate. I like to talk. I guess y'all might be able to tell that, huh? Yes. So, I mean, but that's just me, because that's how you get through misunderstandings.
Absolutely.
That's how you get. That's
communication.
How you learn how to deal with situations. You know, you have to be able to talk about it and be able to come through some type of compromise. And if you don't come through some type of compromise, you still have to be able to come back later and be like, okay, well, we need to figure this out. What did Alicia say? A lot of people know
if they ask those questions, marriage will take too long. Like they'll never get there. They'll wait. Yeah, you're right. That's true. But you know what?
They get divorced very quickly, and it doesn't last long because you want to avoid. You cannot go into something long term avoiding tough questions.
That's right.
You just cannot do it, because when those tough questions come, y'all gonna what? Tiptoe around each other on it. You're not gonna talk about it. Oh, I don't want to bring this up.
You're gonna agree to disagree.
I posted something on my social media that said something about not having the conversation creates a conflict within yourself. I forgot what it meant. I mean, the actual verbiage of it. But when you don't talk about those things, when you hold things in and you don't have those tough conversations, you create a battle, an internal battle within yourself, because you know this is bothering you. But you trying to hold the peace and trying to keep the peace and keep things down, so therefore you don't necessarily deal with it.
Alicia says they want the thoughts of the fairy tale.
They want the who?
The thoughts.
The thoughts of the fairy tale.
It takes work. It takes work to get to the fairy tale.
Keisha, we're getting ready to close in a minute, but you're going to have to go back and listen to it. We have some really good stuff for you guys tonight.
Replay.
Yes.
Hashtag replay.
Hashtag replay. And you guys share, guys, because this is good information tonight, if I must say so ourselves, for both of us.
Absolutely.
Right? So please share, because there is someone definitely that's out there that needs this information. If it's not you, maybe it's somebody you know that haven't told you that they need it, right? So that's what we want you guys to do. But yeah, just to sum it up, you guys, we talked tonight in our conversations about getting unstuck from past relationships, and we gave you some great information about that, in addition to how to handle a spouse that's suffering from an illness. Like, what do you do in those situations? And we gave you like a medical example, and then we gave you guys like a mental health example of if someone, was kind of dealing with something like that. So again, you guys, I am D.Renee, the transformation specialist, and I support women with overcoming obstacles to help them elevate in life and business. I'm a transformational life coach as well as a licensed therapist. And you can find me on my on Facebook at D.Renee, the transformation specialist. You can also find me at on my website at drenee.org. That's DRENEE.org. If I can support you in any way, please feel free to click the book now button, either from my Facebook or my website, and I'll be able to create fill out the application that tells me a little bit about you, and then we can have a conversation on how I can support you a little bit more. Also, what I would like for you guys to do is sign up on my website for my email, so that I can be able to provide you with, things that I may be doing that's out there in the community. In addition to, I have a YouTube. I got a YouTube channel. So just the YouTube channel is the same, D.Renee at D.Renee, the transformation specialist. So go over there, transcribe. You all can all watch these type of videos, as well as my Transformation Tuesdays over there on my YouTube or from my Facebook page.
All right. And I am Stephanie Rochelle. I'm a relationship rehab specialist. I help women win at love and relationships, and help them overcome obstacles that has them stuck. I can be found at on Facebook, Stephanie Rochelle Consulting. Instagram, same thing, Stephanie Rochelle Consulting. My website is the relationshiprehabspecialist.com. Relationshiprehabspecialist.com. You don't need the. And again, same thing, click the book now button, and if I can help you in any way, I'd love to talk to you about it.
All right.
This was great.
Yes,
great.
Awesome.
Great,
so we're here, you guys, every Wednesday at 8 p.m.
8 p.m.
Remember, 8 p.m., not 8:30 anymore. 8 p.m. We're here on the same place that you tuned in this time. We're here again on at 8 p.m. And I also have Transformation Tuesdays, which is at 8 p.m. on this same channel on Facebook. Yep. And I'm also going to start on Instagram, starting on Thursday, starting tomorrow. I'm going to start Transformational Thursdays over there on Instagram, and my Instagram is going to be at 8:00 on Thursday, which is D.Renee_TLCCS. So that's that. So what do you have going on coming up?
Mondays, Mindset Mondays. I'm moving to 9:00 on Mondays. Mindset Mondays. Kind of missing some of my workouts, so I got to fit it all in now that we're so busy with the coaching and everything else. So Mindset Mondays, no longer at 8:00. It's going to be at 9 p.m. I'm going to try to keep the same thing going, Instagram and Facebook. I'm typically on Facebook Mondays at Mindset Monday at 8, but now we're moving to 9 p.m. on Stephanie Rochelle Consulting.
All right, you guys. Well, it's been amazing tonight. We really do appreciate you guys. Really, we love when you guys join us on Meeting in the Ladies Room. Yes. And we will see you guys next week.
Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Bye.